Welcome to Upticks. I'm Jake Falcon, the founder of Falcon Wealth Advisors and your host of Upticks. Today is episode 115, Building Wealth. Okay, welcome back to the show. Before we dive in today, I hope that all of you out there are staying safe and healthy during this horrible pandemic. If the lighting's a little off today, it's because I'm recording this earlier than normal before my team gets in the office. I figured I'd knock it out early because we have a busy day planned at Falcon Wealth Advisors. But the important thing is that you hear it, right? In there. But for today's show, I wanted to talk about four valuable tips when it comes to building wealth. A lot of people talk about this, but they don't really know how to do it. But first, I want to talk about why you want to build wealth. And the reason we help clients build their wealth portfolio is that so they can achieve what's called financial independence. And all that means is basically not having to go to work or earn an income to maintain your lifestyle. And to us, that's pretty important and an awesome feature. Regardless if you love your job or not, it's always nice knowing if something happens and you lose your ability to earn income, that you have enough wealth or investments built up that will generate an income stream for you to replace income lost from actively engaging in employment. So that's what I'm talking about today, is how do we build a wealth portfolio so that you can get to a place where you can be financially independent. And number one, so my first tip here is that I would encourage you to increase your income faster than you increase your spending. Okay, what I'm talking about here is often referred to also as a goalpost, right? So typically, once we start out in our careers in our 20s, we don't make very much money, so our goalpost is pretty tight, and we can, we buy what we can afford, and that's it, right? And then as you start to progress in your career, the goalpost gradually moves. Maybe you upgrade and get a nicer home. Maybe you start a family. Maybe you buy a nicer car. Some people get a second home. Whatever that may be, all of that is fine and dandy. What I'm getting at, though, is that you don't want that goalpost moving faster than your income, because that's when you get into this trouble of racking up high credit card debt or loans that you can't pay for or afford, and becoming underwater on many things. So a good piece to remember is as your income grows, certainly if you want to enjoy some different things in life, just make sure that you're increasing your income faster than you're increasing your expenses. And that gets into my second point, and that's know your budget. Now, for some of our clients, they have a very detailed spreadsheet and they know exactly how much money is coming in and how much is going out. And I cheers to them. I think that's an awesome exercise to go through and a very prudent and disciplined activity to partake. I'll tell you, for myself personally, I do not run a spreadsheet, believe it or not, even though I'm a financial advisor. I do know our budget though. So I know exactly how much money is coming in for Rachel and I know what's going out on a month-to-month basis. Now, if something big is coming up, then I'll start crunching the numbers and making sure that we can afford it and it's not going to throw off our financial plan or our financial goals. And that's okay too, right? But my point is, all you need to do is you need to know your budget. And if you don't know your budget and you want to know your budget, we at Falcon Wealth Advisors have invested in a pretty neat technology. It's basically called building blocks. And we've got these blocks here that, come apart. And what we'll do, Matt or James on our team, two of our junior advisors, they will help you outlay your budget, right, in blocks. So picture every one of these maybe equals $500, and they'll line them up and stack them up. This is what we spend on food, and this is what we spend on housing. And they'll be able to show you these blocks in a three-dimensional view of where you're spending. And what we love about this exercise is that it's different than a spreadsheet in that you get to actually see in groupings where you're spending money. And then what we love to do is we love to align that with your values, right? So, we have you do a values exercise, then we look at your budget, and we want to make sure that those tie together. And I think it's a very powerful exercise. And if you're interested in taking us up on that, please, there's no charge for it. We're happy to walk you through that exercise. Okay, good. So that's number 2 is know your budget. Even if you don't have it in a spreadsheet, if you want to go through our blocks exercise, it's great. Or if you just know it internally, hey, this is what we spend every month. This is what we make. We're good there. We're going to keep track of it and monitor it. And also, as a side note, that's why it's important to have a financial plan, because that'll kind of be a guide to plug all those numbers in. Okay, very good. So number 3 would be properly aligning your investments. There's been study after study after study that many millennials are investing far too conservatively. And the reason is they grew up during the 2007, 2008 financial crisis, and it scared the heck out of them. So they don't want to put money into stocks, which is tremendously harming their long-term financial goals. A simple thought to think of is anything that you don't need in the short term. And when I'm talking short term, I'm typically talking any time between now and 5 years, should be in a growth investment. And we like using stocks for that, right? Anything you need in the short term that you're going to spend should probably be in a more safe investment, something like cash or bonds, right? Now, it gets way more complicated than that, and we certainly can take a look at your investments in your 401k, brokerage accounts. Certainly at Falcon Wealth Advisors, we're managing that for our clients. But you want to make sure that your investments are properly aligned when building wealth. Also, you want to take a look at concentrated positions. Many of our clients have large concentrated positions. I'm not saying those are necessarily a bad thing. Many times, corporate employees, they'll get big bonuses in the form of company stock, and then that stock will grow. And so all of a sudden they've got a problem. It's a high class problem that they've got a lot of money in one stock. That's okay too, but we just want to make sure we've got a plan for it and that we're managing it and protecting that position accordingly. But that all goes into building wealth and making sure that your investments are properly aligned, that your long-term money is growing and your short-term money is safe and liquid. It's very important and something that we take very seriously at Falcon Wealth Advisors. Okay, good. And for my fourth and final tip today is to stay disciplined, right? We've got an election fast approaching. We've got a horrible pandemic we're going through. You hear earnings reports. You've got the Fed, you've got interest rates, you've got winter, you've got summer, you've got all these different things going on. And it's very easy to get sidetracked and either get greedy or get fearful. And what I'm suggesting is to stay disciplined. Have a financial plan. Yes, the financial plan is going to change as your life changes. That's not what I'm talking about. That's okay. It's not okay to get panicked out of the market because of what somebody says on TV, or to get greedy because something happens and you think you're going to put all your chips in and get rich. If you want to play that game, it's better to gamble than to invest, right? So it's better to go to a casino. That's what those institutions were built on, people that want to gamble. You don't want to gamble when you're building wealth, right? You want to invest it properly and you want to stay disciplined. But I'm not suggesting that your investment discipline shouldn't change. It can change. You just don't want to change it for irrational short-term emotions, right? You want to change it because your financial goals have changed, or maybe your career path has changed, or maybe you had a baby or bought a house, right? And so something else has changed in your life. That's when we change the financial plan. We don't change it based on elections or pandemics sort of things. Certainly, we're going to make good investment decisions. We're going to be careful with the stocks and bonds that we buy for our clients. We're very smart on that, but we're not sitting here and just blowing up our whole investment philosophy because what is going on. Okay, perfect. So hopefully you found some value in this. Again, building wealth. We want to do it because we want to be financially independent. I love my job. That doesn't mean that I'm not building wealth. I want to be financially independent. God forbid something happens and I'm not able to earn income. I want to be able to be established so that I have investments that are going to earn income to replace my wage. And that's why we want to become financially independent. That's why we want to build wealth, right? So it's very important, that, like I just talked about, your budget. It's very important. You stay disciplined. Your investments align with your financial goals in there, and you stay disciplined to that and watch it and track it. And the very number one thing I said is very important. Increase your income faster than you increase your expenses. Okay, perfect. That's all the time that I do have for you today. My team will probably be rolling in the office here soon, getting ready to get the day started. I hope all of you out there are staying safe and healthy. I have plugged this book out on social media. I highly, highly recommend it. It's called The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This guy's amazing. Again, the book is fantastic. I don't think he's a financial advisor or anything, so I'm not endorsing him. I'm just saying that this is a really, really good book. It really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I have thought about before, and I will be sharing more of that out there on social media. And certainly you can find me out there on all the social media platforms. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Feel free to connect. I love connecting and meeting new people. Also, our team at Falcon Wealth Advisors, we're social as well. We're out there on all the major social media platforms. Thank you again. Hope you all have a great week, and we look forward to kicking out more episodes of Upticks.